My name is Patrick Gardner, and this is the SAS 100 final project. The first question that it asks is, how did I enjoy learning the new material? For the most part, I did enjoy it. It was interesting to learn about like different ways to deal with stress in college and time management, and how to deal with math, in different ways to get help with math. With think tanks, going to study groups and stuff like that. The next question asks, what active learning strategies do you think are most effective for you, and are they different than the ones you enjoy? Probably one of the most effective for me was dealing with time and managing your time. I think we have way less time than we did in high school, so it's difficult to kind of manage yourself with homework, school, and social things. So I think this was going to be the biggest problem for me in college, and so far it's helped the most. And I also enjoyed this one the most, mainly because it was so helpful. And a huge problem for me was procrastination. During the first week of school, I did this a lot, but I soon realized that this was not going to cut it. I was not going to pass my classes. The SAS course kind of helped with different ways for managing your time and dealing with procrastination. And a way I dealt with this was by getting a group of kids that we were all in the same class with, to go over the work or talk about what we had to do or study, stuff like that. The next question talks about metacognition and how I would explain this. Basically, it's thinking about thinking. So in terms of like homework or like let's say studying, like rewriting information, kind of train your brain to memorize the information. And I do this a lot when I'm studying or I'm trying to remember vocabulary words, stuff like that. Not only will I read the definition, but I will also rewrite. I'll write down the definition and the term to kind of like just get it into my brain. And this helps a lot with trying to recall the information when taking a test, stuff like that. I honestly, I could not pass many of my tests if I did not take the strategy or use a strategy. The next question talks about mindfulness, and how would I explain that to a friend? It's basically being like conscious or aware of something, being in the present, knowing what's going on. Mindfulness also helps with health, mental health. This can help with like dealing with stress or with problems, not only related to school, but maybe dealing with family issues or getting into fights with your friends. Mindfulness can kind of help you calm down, kind of take a step back and really like work through the situation instead of maybe in the past you could have dealt with something in a wrong way. Being mindful can kind of help you think about what's the best way to do this. This will also work when studying for finals and even being stressed out by them. Just kind of meditating, even just stopping doing homework and kind of resting your brain will also help. It's important not to get overwhelmed because when that happens, sometimes, you don't know what to study first. You don't know what to do first. You just kind of freak out and break down and end up getting nothing done. So you don't want to do this. The next question talks about math in the past. This semester has been very different. I've had far more homework than I ever had in my math classes. Even though the homework has been pretty easy, there's been a ton of it. So it's kind of hard to get that all done. And I learn math best, when I have a teacher who I can visually see them do the work. It's harder for me to learn on a computer. And although this math was easy, this wasn't a problem, but when math gets harder, Alex is not going to suffice. I'm going to need a teacher to guide me through the problems and guide me through the work. And now currently, both mindfulness and metacognition, I think, will help dealing with stress. I think that's what most college kids go through. I think that's the biggest problem. And if you're able to deal with these, it helps a lot. And there's other ways to deal with stress like this, not just being mindful or using metacognition, but by playing a sport or hanging out with friends, going to the gym. Any way to relieve stress can help greatly.
And I can use metacognition strategies to help me prepare for the Math 100 exam. Like I said, just constantly going over problems, just getting it ingrained in your brain will help tremendously. And now for my math future, again, I could help or I could use these strategies to help, with Math 112 or Math 116. And I also think mindfulness has helped in a big way too, mainly dealing with stress, not feeling overwhelmed. And these strategies have clearly worked. I got a perfect score on my Math 100 final, and I've done very well in the other knowledge checks. And I think I have SAS in part to credit a lot of my success to and my teachers who have helped me along the way. Both my SAS teacher for dealing and introducing me to these strategies, and the math kids who have